Hello guys, Trinson here. Today I'll be reading some r/entitled parents. Enjoy. Entitled mom makes an attempt to steal my property, pushes me into a fountain, and more. Hi Reddit, I'm writing this on mobile, so apologies in advance for formatting. Also, it's kinda long, sorry. I'll try to keep it concise. I really didn't think these type of people exist until this happened to me. I know how crazy it sounds, but they're real, and they're out there. Cast, EM, entitled mom. Okay, obnoxious kid. Me, take a guess. So I was at a park with two of my friends. We'll call them K and H. Some background information. I have depression and anxiety, so when I'm out in public I like to play games on my phone so that I have something to distract me from the world and keep me from panicking. I also have this necklace I wear that I got as a gift from my mom that she got me to kind of play with to calm me down if I'm having an anxiety attack. I never take it off, even in the shower. But it's gold plated, so it doesn't turn my neck green or anything. Anyway, K, H, and I were sitting on the bench, taking a break from playing frisbee with H's dog that she brought along. I was out of breath, and sometimes that can remind me of hyperventilating and send me into a panic attack. So while the three of us chatted, I opened a game on my phone and began playing. Not even like 2 seconds after I took out my phone, this naughty kid, maybe like 8 or 9 years old, came running up to the bench. This is okay. Obnoxious kid, not okay. Maybe I should have chose a different name for him. At first, I thought he maybe wanted to pet H's dog, as the dog is very friendly and likes kids. So I turned to H to see if he was talking to the kid. But before I could do anything, I felt the kid's grubby hands on me, trying to pull my phone out of my hands. I asked him what he was doing, already getting nervous from having my personal property touched by a stranger. And he said he wanted to play games and continued to try and pry my phone out of my hands. I asked him nicely to stop, but when he didn't, I used my free hand to unclamp his hands from my phone. The instant I even touched him, obnoxious kid started bawling and screaming. This girl is trying to steal my phone! Now I was already on the verge of a panic attack, so at this point one hand was holding my phone and the other was playing with my necklace. Out of nowhere, a lady runs up to the bench and picks up the kid. He has to be at least 8, a little old for getting carried by your mom. She instantly started yelling at us. Entitled mom. Excuse me, how dare you girls try to lay your hands on my son? He just wants to play your games. You're too old for that anyway. Why don't you just give him the phone? Me. Well, he just runs up and grabbed it without saying anything. If I had known he just wanted to check out a game, I might have let him play for a little bit, but she cut me off before I could finish. Entitled mom. For a bit? She snorts laugh sarcastically. I meant you should just let him have it. Aren't you guys here to be active anyways? Sure looks like you guys need it. Just give him the phone and get back to your exercise. She looks towards H, who is a little overweight but very pretty and actually is more active than I am. This upsets H, and her dog could tell, and started growling. Entitled mom. You should let me have that dog too. Look, it's growling. It doesn't even like you. K. Lady, her dog is growling at you and your son, not us. Entitled mom opened her mouth to say something, but before she could, I screamed in the midst of this chaos. Obnoxious kid had slipped my phone out of my hands and running across the park towards the fountain with it. I got up and instantly started chasing him and caught up to him right as he got to the fountain. But now I was crying and pulling on my necklace so hard it almost hurt. I was about to have a full-blown panic attack. Obnoxious kid looked at me and with an evil little kid grin, threw my phone in the fountain. I was so angry that I ran up to the fountain, and on my way to jump to retrieve my phone, I wasn't looking at my surroundings, and I accidentally pushed obnoxious kid into the water as well. I got my phone out, but I was totally waterlogged and broken. Obnoxious kid had climbed out and was now sobbing as K and H ran towards the fountain to help me, with entitled mom not too far behind him screaming like a banshee. Entitled mom. How dare you try to drown my son? You try to kill my baby! By now, I am hyperventilating and having a full-blown panic attack. K and H sit next to me at the edge of the fountain and rub my back to try to calm me down. I realized something that H didn't have her dog with her and looked around for it, and realized Entitled mom was holding its leash and walking it. Entitled mom. Since you didn't give my baby that phone you didn't even need, I'm taking this dog. It obviously likes me more than you guys. You are obviously abusing it. H's dog was whimpering and obviously did not like this lady. H. Look, lady, this is my dog and I have paperwork to prove it. I will call 911 if you don't give him back. Entitled mom. Too late. I've already called the police so they can arrest you for attempt murder when you try to drown my son. Entitled mom stepped closer to me and to my horror started peering at my neck. Entitled Mom, and since you'll be going to jail, you won't need that. As she said that, she actually, I couldn't believe it either, grabbed my necklace and pulled it as hard as she could, breaking the gold chain and spilling the beads all into the fountain. At first, I just sat there, mouth agape, not even knowing what to do as she stood there menacingly over me. But then, reality kicked in and I started seeing red and slapped Entitled Mom in the face. She couldn't handle this, obviously. And the last thing I remember before being pushed under the water of the fountain was an obnoxious kid yelling, "Yeah, Mommy, get her!" After that, everything went black for a few seconds. I don't know if it was due to lack of air or sheer panic and anxiety, but next thing I remember was being pulled out of the water by a cop, spluttering everywhere as he asked if I was okay. My eyes were blurry from the water, but I could hear obnoxious kids sobbing and see roughly what looked like two other cops cuffing Entitled Mom as she screamed about how H's dog was her dog, the phone was her property, and how she's still pressing charges for attempt murder on her son. Another cop was talking to K and H, I guess getting their side of the stories for the statement. My mom came to pick us up from the park that day. Luckily, the cops were nice, and while the two of them drove Entitled Mom and obnoxious kid to the station, the other two stayed with me and K and H while we waited for my mom. My mom was shaken up as well after the cop explained to her what happened, but just glad we were okay. We were both sad about the necklace, but she got me a new one that I think is even prettier, and a new phone as well. Entitled Mom was made to reimburse her for both. Last I heard, they were charging Entitled Mom with attempt murder on a minor. An obnoxious kid went to live with his dad in another state. I hope his dad is better and teaches the obnoxious kid how to be a better person, as he is the only kid and most of the reason why kids act the way is their parents, so I can't blame all his behavior solely on him. I have to go to court in a few months to testify against Entitled Mom, and while a part of me feels like I should have some sympathy, another part remembers how she literally encouraged the destruction of my personal property via her son, tried to steal my best friend's dog, destroy my personal property in a violent manner, and actually held me underwater, and then I don't feel so bad anymore. If you guys want, I can update here after I hear more about the case is going. Apparently she refused to take a plea deal and says she is not guilty, despite the cops and my friends witnessing it and luckily park CCTV capturing some of it. So it might even go to trial. Some of this has been in the news in my area. I don't want to reveal too much personal information, but I'll try and find the links. Thank you guys for listening to my story, and I hope none of you have to ever encounter as crazy as an Entitled Mom as I did. Give me your toy so I can break it. Context: I fractured my left wrist about 6 months ago and was finally getting my cast taken off. I am left-handed, so writing was very difficult. I was in the waiting room with my dad, listening for my name to be called. I had recently learned how to solve a Rubik's Cube, so I brought it with me to try and get faster while waiting. Cast: M equals me, D equals my dad, EP equals entitled parent, EK equals entitled kid, N equals nurse. There, I was sitting in my chair just solving my Rubik's Cube, listening to music when entitled parent and entitled kid show up. Entitled kid instantly sees the cube and yells, "Entitled kid, give me now!" Me, no. The entitled parent and her kid sits down next to me. Entitled parent, "Let him see the toy." Me, okay. Entitled kid starts turning it over and over. He can't even solve one side. He gets angry. Entitled kid, "This is impossible." Entitled kid practically yeets my cube into the floor, and it obviously breaks into multiple pieces all over the ground. I facepalm really hard. Me, "Why would you?" I don't even try. I just pick up the pieces. Luckily, I know how to put the Rubik's Cube, so I didn't make a big deal out of it. After fixing it and testing to see if it works fine, the entitled kid asked for it again. Reluctantly, I decided to give him a second chance. Wrong move. He doesn't even try it once and throws it onto the floor again. I see this giant smirk on his little face. The waiting was going to be about an hour, so I knew this was going to be rough, and I was already getting annoyed. I pick up the pieces, put it back together, test it, and it works fine. He asked if he could have it again, but I reject him this time. Doesn't matter though. He yoinks the cube from me as soon as I put it down and breaks it for the third time. I'm tired of this. Once I fix it, I asked entitled parent to please ask his child to stop breaking my cube. Entitled parent, "Why would I do that? He is a perfect boy." She practically has no idea what happened because she was just on her phone the whole time. The entitled kid tries to grab my cube again, but this time I push him away ever so softly. He makes it look like I threw him and dramatically falls on the floor crying. Entitled parent, "How dare you hurt my precious baby? I'm calling the police." Nurse, "What's going on here?" Entitled parent, "This child pushed my kid and hurt him." Talking to my dad. You should be ashamed of your son. Dad? And why would I? He is protecting his property and you can't control your child. The nurse escorts the entitled parent and entitled kid. The kid didn't get hurt at all, and the entitled parent was screaming at my dad the whole time. I didn't see them again. I got my wrist checked, it healed great, and I got my cast off. The rest of the day went great. More of the story, don't be an idiot like me. TLDR, I fractured my wrist. Today I was getting my cast off. I brought my Rubik's Cube to solve while I was waiting. This entitled kid takes my cube and breaks it multiple times after I fix it. Entitled parents gets mad, and then I scored it after making a scene. And I never saw her or her child again. And yes, this is real. Alright guys, that would be all for me for today. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't. I'll be back tomorrow with more reads. Have a nice rest of the day, guys. Mwah!